Since 2009, Minecraft has gained a reputation as one of the greatest games of all time, and it has been described by the developers and many others as having infinite potential from just one simple concept. But maybe that concept is a little bit too simple. Over the years, Minecraft has seen thousands and thousands of glitches. Some of these have been small and obscure, like the Dutch version of Minecraft having a broken download link. But some are a little bit bigger than that. From random players stealing OG usernames, to putting 8-year-old capes on new accounts, to creating illegal and valid names that break the system, to part of Mojang's website being hijacked by players, Minecraft has been broken time and time again. In today's episode of Minecraft Uncovered, we'll be going through the craziest exploits of them all. Let's go ahead and start with the simplest of the exploits, which is the cape code method. For those that don't know, in vanilla Minecraft, there are 3 types of cosmetics. There are skins, which are free for everyone to use and create, and we aren't going to be talking about those. There are mouse ears, which only one person in the entire game has. I talked about him in my video about the rarest Minecraft accounts, so go check that out if you haven't already. And lastly, there are capes. In normal Minecraft, you can only get capes for one of 3 things. First, you can help Mojang in some capacity. Maybe you're a translator, maybe you're part of the Realms team, maybe you're a staff member, who knows. Second, you win some sort of competition. You could get on the leaderboards for their Scrolls game, or win a Cobalt League tournament, or maybe you're Akron Man 1 and you got lucky enough to be the 1,000,000th Minecraft player. And third, the most common of these by far is that you went to one of the Minecon conventions, specifically 2011, 2012, 2013, 2015, and 2016. Those last ones are the ones we're talking about. In 2011, these capes were automatically applied based on your username, but in 2012, capes switched to being applied through a code you would get in your email after you went to Minecon. Now, during these Minecons, all you needed to do to use one of these is click the link in your email, which looked something like minecraft.net/redeemcape and then your code. But back in 2017, they disabled that link. The end of the story, right? Well, not quite. If you know the special account community, you know that some of us will stop at absolutely nothing to get what we want, and these rare cape codes were in very high demand. So, the search was on. Within just a few months, the Minecraft website had been scrubbed clean for everything we could find, and a way was found to use cape codes on any account you wanted. It was a bit more complicated than the original link, but it worked. Instead of using the normal redeem cape link, you had to use this huge link with your cape code at the end after running it through a base 64 code converter. An underground market started to develop for cape codes, and they were sold for huge amounts of money, from $500 to $2,000, assuming you could even find a code for sale because they were incredibly rare. It basically just continued like that for 2 years, with the prices going up and up until May of this year. On May 12th, without any warning, the link for cape codes ceased to exist. No announcement from Mojang, no emails to cape code owners, nothing. To this day, it still hasn't been added back, and there isn't any known way to use these cape codes. There is still some stuff about cape codes that should probably be mentioned. First off, some people still think you can apply these cape codes through Mojang support, but based on my experience and what Mojang says on their website, I don't think that's true. Also, cape codes aren't really exclusive to Minecon capes, contrary to what a lot of people think. Cobalt capes, specifically, were also applied by codes, and accounts like Fox were able to take advantage of that to claim it on their account. At this point though, Cobalt codes probably don't exist. Most people think they've all been redeemed, and even if they did exist, you would probably only be able to redeem them through support, or maybe not at all. Interestingly though, there has been a Cobalt cape that was found recently on NameMC. Maybe he just enabled the cape, maybe he just added the cape, who knows. Cape codes might come back in the future, especially since there's a new Minecon with a special cape planned for next year, but for all we know, capes could be completely changed at the next convention, and these old rare codes might never work again. Next up, we have a pretty recent exploit found by a fellow YouTuber, XInabox, for hand sniping. I actually didn't know about this until he made a video about it, but I'm also not really part of the hand sniping community, so maybe it's been known for months and I'm just late to the trend. Wouldn't surprise me. For those that don't know, by the way, hand sniping is when you try to take a cool username as soon as it becomes available, but using your hand, hence the name, instead of a bot like most name snipers. Also, this might be patched, but don't quote me on that, I haven't used it. Anyways, Xbox found a way to bypass the name availability timer on the Minecraft website so that you can try to change your name to snipe a good OG or semi-OG name before anyone else. Check out his video for a more in-depth explanation, but basically you can use inspect element to enable the name change button and send your name change request early, and if you time it right, you could claim the names just milliseconds after they become available. Especially right now, with how crazy the Minecraft sniping scene is, and video on that coming out soon, you have a pretty decent chance of getting yourself a nice username. In his video, he mentioned quite a few really good names that he actually got from this method, like Nay, Things, Goods, Shortcut, Annual, Thanks, Plots, and more. Now we get into some of the really weird examples. Hand sniping and cape codes are cool and all, but the methods were really simple and easy to do. We're about to talk about 2 examples regarding name changes that we still don't fully understand and haven't been able to do again. Let's start with WoW and oof, and yes, that is a 0 on WoW. 2 very clean 3-letter names, and they were stolen. Now, you could argue that name sniping is stealing a name, but this is very different. The names were changed, yes, but they got taken by other accounts way early, and those accounts had already changed their names just minutes before they took oof and WoW. Starting with WoW, the name was changed on the original account to WhaleShark89 on October 20th of 2019, meaning it would become available on November 27th. Nothing out of the ordinary. 2 days before it was supposed to go available though, it was taken by a random account with an Alex skin. The account had already changed its name from that atrocity to 9T_ just 4 minutes ago. Once again, stealing the name before it was supposed to drop. It didn't even hold the name for 24 hours before changing the name again to Hyman, a blocked username, and Hyme Eminem the day after, where it's at today. As for oof, a pretty similar situation happened. The first 2 names were complete nonsense, and then it switched to oof just 21 seconds after the previous name change. Then, 2 days later, it changes the name to oof2, and the original owner takes the name back, though interestingly, he changed it back on the 27th day, 3 days before the name change cooldown would expire. So, what happened here? We really aren't 100% sure. It was reported back to Mark IRL back when it happened, and Mark said that early name changes and inappropriate names being claimed was an indicator that somebody on Mojang's end was editing usernames. He also implied that the reason why this was happening would be known to the people that owned the usernames, but the owner of oof seemed to be just as confused as everyone else. So, was it a Mojang employee? Almost definitely. Why did they do it? No idea. Why didn't they tell oof about them taking his name? Again, no clue. Mojang is very secretive and weird when it comes to this stuff, and I hate having to end stories like this, but we may never know. Now, let's move on to the second example, the HPF is cool accounts. Now, this is actually done by a player, and you can see for yourself on the name MC profiles that they've all been linked to a guy named HPF. Now, what happened here is really weird, and again, not something I can 100% explain. 2 accounts owned by this guy were able to spam a ton of name changes all at once, and somehow they got through. HPF is cool 8 changed its name 8 times in 1 second, and HPF is cool 70 changed its name 7 times in 1 second, and that's just according to NameMC. If you actually look at the Mojang API, the amount of name changes is way more. My friend was able to sort of replicate this with his account Sidian, although it doesn't show up on NameMC. HPF says he has 20,000 proxies, or different IPs that he can send requests from, so it wouldn't surprise me if his method is just absolutely overloading the servers, and Mojang's API just isn't strong enough to stop him. Either way, the situation is a lot more recent than what happened with oof and WoW, and there's been even more stuff regarding weird name change behavior that I might talk about in a future video, so stay tuned for that. And now, on to the last big API bug I want to talk about, and this one is very, very fresh. Mojang's already patched it, but it did take them a few days to actually get it fixed, so we have plenty of proof. Earlier this month, 2 friends of mine were able to take over 2 different parts of Mojang's website, launcherbeta.mojang.com and launchermetabeta.mojang.com. I won't actually say how they got into the website, partially because I don't entirely know, partially because I don't want to leak anything they know, and partially because I don't want Mojang to smite me. They didn't do anything bad with it though, so don't worry about that. Instead, they actually offered to help Mojang fix the problem, and while they were waiting, they put up a few messages from people in the community. Hey, that's me. The page has been taken down since then, but I've got plenty of screenshots, and you can even see an archive of the pages on the Internet Archive at archive.org, link in the description. So that's about it for all these weird exploits, but there are a few more that I want to briefly mention. I won't go into detail because I've already talked about these in other videos, but there have been methods to create invalid usernames, to impersonate unmigrated OG accounts, to gain full access to a Minecraft account with just the password, and more. I talked about the methods we found to make invalid accounts in my How I Made 5 Illegal Minecraft Accounts video, and the OG account impersonation and full access method in my Hacked Minecraft Accounts video, so definitely go check those out if you're interested. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, come join my Discord. We got minigames, memes, gaming, voice chats, music, and a lot more, and unlike in last video, it's not too lonely. We've got like 50 members now. But yeah, for now, this has been MCB, signing off. Have a good one.